A joyful day, beautiful beings. Welcome back to another intentional, heartfelt episode of Beyond the Story Hearts Talk podcast. Yes, so I'm getting back into it, y'all. I am told y'all that I'm back in my heart space. I am back motivated. Don't mean that means I'm perfect. Don't that doesn't mean any of that, right? Contrary to belief that your desire to do something does not come without opportunities to continue to learn and grow. And that is what we promote here on Beyond the Story, right? We like to get beyond the story, beyond the systematic barriers and the lies, the made up stuff that we were taught what success looked like and all these things, right? So let's get right into it. So we are introducing a new series. I've gotten into this thing about series, about frameworks, and they're just no different than a series of Grey's Anatomy or the one with Mary J on it that I can't think of. Yeah, anyway, so y'all know I don't watch TV like that. Anyway, so, but little series that allows us to disrupt, transform, and tame how we feel about ourselves, what we think about ourselves, all those things, right? And so this series is brought to you by Black Friday. Yeah, Black Friday is a whole worldwide thing. It's a whole thing. And we are going to do this series, which is we're calling it Black Friday Investment Series. That's what we're calling it. And so here you go. So Black Friday usually tells us to buy more. This year, we're choosing to be more. Yes, that is the unconventional opportunity that we're giving you. If you choose to stay with us during this series, to share this series, and just invest in yourself, right? It is the opportunity to choose to be more, not buying more than you could really afford, getting in debt, unrealistic narratives and beliefs about yourselves, but choosing to be more, right? And so this is going to help you shift from consumption to conscious investment in your soul, your mind, your story, and your connections, and your continuous blooming, right? You are required to grow. Another contrary, right? We have emotions, we have all these things, but in all of that, you are required to bloom to your fullest potential. Okay, so what we did in this Black Friday investment series. So this first episode is like the preliminary introduction to what is to come. Okay, so please bear with me as I am being vulnerable to trying something new, to allow myself to become a better version of myself, but allow myself an opportunity to do something and to do things that that is on my heart to do. And so what we're going to be doing is we're using an acronym to help us throughout this series. I love acronyms because acronyms and metaphors have been a safe place for me to communicate with individuals. It was very challenging for me to communicate with people, and for several different reasons that I learned as a little person that because I learned uniquely and differently than everybody in the room. And then I could tell like when a teacher or someone was not particularly really open to taking the time to help me learn. So if the environment isn't safe, I am not going to I am not going to retain the information. Like I'm just not. So acronyms and metaphors have helped me. So we are continuing in what I know that works for me, and I hope you will come along and be a part of that. So Doing this investment series, we are using the acronym, and so we turn black, the word black, into an acronym. We will reflect, release, and realign with a version of yourself that feels more grounded, more whole, and more powerful. So that is what the black is. Black is about reflecting, releasing, realigning with a version of yourself that feels more grounded, whole, and more powerful. This isn't about using the energy. Using this weekend, Black Friday weekend, to get money from you. That's not what this is. So, beyond Black Friday, an investment in parts of us that money can't buy. Yeah, everything about our lives, everything about your pain, all about your joys, all about your heart desires, the thing that your fears, all of those things have become commercialized and have made individuals rich. Yeah. So the world absolutely profits off of you, and we don't oftentimes see our value in us, that we have things that money can't buy. And so oftentimes when we don't have a deeper understanding of that, we give those things away frivolously and unknowingly. So this unconventional approach to Black Friday series is for shifting the focus from buying to becoming more, right? And so I told you this is like the preliminary, but so each episode after this each episode explores Black as an acronym, which we talked about. And so B stands for break cycles, right? L will stand for learn yourself. A will be align your story. And this will be something that will be repetitive, so don't have to worry about trying to remember them all now. But I encourage you to get something to write with, so you can write down these gems and these things, so you can put them on repeat, right? And so A, align your story. C is going to stand for choose conscious connections, right? And then the K, which is the last letter in Black, stands for keep blooming. Because like I said earlier, you're being watered, so you are expected to grow. In the world where we're pursued to speed, in a world where we are pursued and persuade to spin, compare, and perform, this series invites you to invest in your inner world, in your healing, and your voice. Because who else's responsibility is that? It is your responsibility, right? Through the idea. So I'm hoping to get some individuals during the days to come where we spell out each acronym. So we have B.L.A.C.K. So that is 5 letters. So the idea is to have this series will potentially be a 5-day series, not including today. Today is just the preliminary introduction of the shenanigans that we are about to partake in. And so potentially it'll be 5 days. And if I can get 5 individuals to come on to be my special guest, then I have some information that they're going to help us walk this all out to get inside of our way, right? So the idea is to invest in your inner world, your healing, and what else? Your voice, right? And your community, right? Because your voice, your healing, and your inner world all plays a part in how you can add value to your community, or how you can take from your community. Yeah, it's a real thing. So so this Black Friday, we're not adding to the noise. Let's not add to the noise. I know you're getting this series. You're getting the information about this series at the end of Friday. And that's okay, right? Because all this weekend and continuing into Christmas and all of that, right? I know I'm bringing this up as a Black Friday investment series, but this means also don't fall into the trap of Christmas and all the shenanigans. It's a whole scheme, and it's a big money scheme, and we ain't even with it in my Tupac voice. And so, this Friday we're not adding to the noise. We're rewriting the narrative, right? We're redefining what wealth is, and we're investing inward. That means inward. Like, I mean, in the things that we often take for granted, right? Because you don't know when your heart stops. You don't know when it starts nor when it stops, right? And we don't have that knowing, right? We know about life and death, but when it is going to be over, we don't know. And so investing in your inwards, just being grateful for what happens on the inside of you, under a deeper appreciation for all that you are inwardly, so you can see the power of becoming outwardly, right? So it overflows outward. So again, we're using the word black as our acronym to guide us through this. Now, I'll repeat what black is. Black, B is for break cycles. L is for learn yourself. A is for align your story. C is choose conscious connections. Be intentional with the people you have yourself around, because birds of a feather flock together. It's a whole real thing. And then what happens in your community absolutely affects you. Like, you ain't no keeping your children safe in your house, because what happens when what's on the outside comes on the inside, right? When we don't use our voice to change laws, to change policies, to make sure that our city, which uses the budget, which is your money, to make sure your streets are safe, that affects you. Your child, that affects you. So choose conscious connections, right? Be intentional so you can keep blooming. And so the 5 episodes that we will be doing is not about sales or shopping. They're about inner investment. We're rewriting the narratives that silenced us. Yeah. So expect some laughter, some honesty, some vulnerability, some healing, and conversations that activate something deeper within you. This is about going beyond. Like Star Wars, like the great beyond, right? This is about activating something deeper within you. I'm inviting you to invest in yourself, your wholeness, and your community this season. Don't get caught up in that mumble jumble, surface level, holiday, paganist, season, and don't invest in yourself. And so I'm going to kick it off, right? I am going to kick it off and let you know that I want to invest in you. And so the episodes that are going to come in the descriptions, I'll be able to leave links where you are able to get some free things, right? Because I said I'm invested in you. So I am going to plug in some free things, right? There are going to be things that you can tangibly get, like downloadable PDFs that go to certain things that have action steps and that kind of thing. And then there's things that you could do with your ear, which is continuing to listen to the Black Friday investment series on the podcast. It's actually on several platforms, which is really cool. So choose your passion, not poison. Choose your passion. We are streaming on Apple. We are streaming on Amazon. We are streaming on Good Pods. Good Pods is having a little slight challenge. So if you go on Good Pods and you subscribe to the podcast there, that would be super great, because if I get me getting certain amount of followers on that podcast, on that platform, will allow them to feature my podcast like for a week. So let's do it, right? So go to Good Pods and follow Beyond the Story Hearts Talk podcast by Sierra M. Clark. So I'm just gonna go briefly into Hold on. Listen, we got notes because I'm trying to disrupt narratives and not just the ones for you, but the ones for myself. I no longer want this surface level stuff, right? That just life has been giving us. And so let's touch surface level on just, real lightly on, because I don't want this introduction preliminary to be long. So I think each podcast the series could be roughly about, 45 minutes, could be more. We'll see. I'm not putting any time on it, but just want you to know that this is about really investing some time. You might have to turn off something. You might have to say hey to something else so you can make time for something that you need, right? Only you know if this is for you. And then again, if it's not for you, but you think it has some value, then share it with someone who can benefit from it, right? Okay, so let's get to a little bit of real facts, right? Real history of Black Friday, right? When did Black Friday start? Who benefits from it? Why is it still a thing? Why are we still doing Christmas all these years later? And we have the facts of what Christmas was. Some say, Christmas is a pagan holiday. We understand that only a fat white man was allowed to come down the chimneys of poor black people when black people didn't even have chimneys. And so it's a whole bah humbug, right? It's a whole bah humbug to this. Like, mothers and fathers weren't great enough to be honored to say, although they only had two quarters to rub together, that they made miracles happen for their children on Martin Luther King Street. Because I'm thinking about the miracle on 74th Street or whatever that Christmas thing is. I'm sure it'll be playing. But parents made miracles happen every Thanksgiving, as Tupac said in his song, Mama made miracles every Christmas, I think. And parents was robbed of that, right? Parents were taken of that, and the credit was given to someone again outside of the household, outside of the culture, just outside of intentionally doing something to leave us a legacy of growth and prosperity. No, let's give it to a fat white man coming down the chimney, ho ho ho, who came from the North Pole, now who needs to determine who's naughty and nice. And so now our children were looking more to please Santa Claus and be good because Santa Claus was going to reward them because what their parents was doing and could bring home just wasn't enough. So how was that? Absolutely not creating a wedge inside of the household amongst the children and the parents who struggled, right? Who pushed to, again, rob Peter to pay Paul to make something out of nothing. So the real history of Black Friday, let's go into it. Black Friday did not start as a shopping holiday. Did you know that? Yeah, Black Friday did not start as a shopping holiday. The earliest known use for the term Black Friday dates back to the 1860s, not for shopping, but for financial chaos is what it says. 1869, the first Black Friday. On September 24th, 1869, two Wall Street financiers, I'm gonna mess his name up, J somebody, and James Fix, right? Tried to corner the U.S. gold market is what they try. Another scheme, right? They call that blue collar crime. It's called a felony when black and brown people do stuff, right? So Jay and James tried to corner the U.S. gold market. Their scheme collapsed, and their scheme collapsed the stock market. Farmers, workers, and everyday Americans suffered devastating financial losses. This was the first major association of the phrase Black Friday with exploitation. Right. So the thing that we so hooped up and excited about was about exploitation, greed, and wealth extraction. Black communities later felt these ripple effects through land, um, through through land, crop crushes, and economic instability. So again, like I said, what happens on the outside will come on the inside. It doesn't matter. Like what happens at the top of the ladder, what those rich people do affects us, right? And so yeah, and so you had these two individuals who was trying to run some scheme, and it crashed the market, and the market crashed, and then inevitably the black people in marginalized communities still felt the effect of this ripple. And then it happened that it was about yeah. So okay. So two. What happened next? The shopping version of Black Friday started in the 1950s, right? So a little 1950s through the 1960s, because of crowds, not sales. In Philadelphia, police officers began calling the day after Thanksgiving Black Friday because massive traffic jams, overcrowded sidewalks, increased shoplifting, and un and I don't know, and departments dealing with chaos. Stores didn't like the negative connotation, but the name stuck, right? So again, not a good term, or not a good thing behind Black Friday, right? Let's go to number 3. The in the black accounting myth came later. In the 1800s, retailers tried to rewrite the story. Black Friday is when stores go from red loss to black profit. And this was a marketing strategy, not historical truth, right? This shift helped transform Black Friday into a national shopping frenzy. Okay, so that was just some real history around Black Friday. Let me know how much of that you knew, or let me know if you know something else about Black Friday. I am always open to learning some new things, because I'm realizing that this is the matrix breaker, right? When you learn of your history, right? How do you know where you're going when you don't know where you come from? Like in order to I'm gonna keep it to the script, right? And so who really benefits from Black Friday, right? I thought I heard someone in the back ask that question. Let me answer that question for you. Like, who really benefits from Black Fridays? Not us, right? Not our communities, really. Who benefits from Black Fridays? Let me write it down. What you think? Who benefits from Black Fridays? Give us a moment to think about that. Who's benefiting from Black Fridays? The ones who are planning, right? They plan a year ahead about, right, this weekend. Major corporations is the answer to that, right? Major corporations already had it in their plan. They already projecting 2027 numbers, right? We're going into 2026, but they are already projecting 2027 numbers of how much money you are going to spend, how much money they're going to be able to get from you. They've already planned it for them. They budget around it, and they're doing their best to hit those targets, right? Yeah, so major corporations. Who are the major corporations? Walmart, Target, Amazon, Best Buy, and big box chains benefits most every single year, right? Their model depends on mass production, underpaid labor, overconsumption, psychological manipulation, limit time only. That is a whole thing to make you think that they're not going to have any more, and the whole back stock room is full of it, right? But they want you to think that you got to buy it now, or you're not going to get it, right? Push people into debt. That's what major corporations do. That's what Black Friday is all about. Who benefits from Black Friday again? Major corporations and also credit card companies. Credit card companies benefit from Black Friday. Black Friday is one of the most highest days for new credit applications. People filling out new credit applications just so they can spend money for this one particular day. I'm telling you, these people are prepared for you to not be willing to invest in yourself year round. I know I'm talking about Black Friday and it is about a weekend, but this is about a year round mindset and heart set and understanding. This is a year round investment that I'm asking you to invest in, right? We are doing more, not spending more. Credit card companies, long term investment traps, right? Marketing and advertising firms, they profit off urgency. I can't. Oh, what's this word? So yeah, urgencies. I can see it, but I can't. Uh, Tactics, scarcity. See that? Scarcity tactics and emotional manipulation. That's what marketing firms, they all play. I just mentioned it earlier. They play off of your emotions. And so when you are a victim to your emotions are being played on. You mad at that dude because he played on your emotions, but you're not mad at these corporations that are playing on your emotions, right? And so that's who really benefits. Let's talk about who doesn't benefit. And then I'm going to end this introduction so you can kind of get the drift of what Black Friday investment series is going to be about. And then I hope that you will subscribe to the podcast, right? So you can tap in and you're able to listen to the rest of this series. That you will share this series with someone. There's going to be some links. I'm going to have a link that will go to a pre and a post survey because I want to help measure your takeaway, right? And not just for you, but not just for me, right? Because I can now use that to now know what other series that I can bring to help us continue to invest in ourselves, invest in our inner empowerment, invest in our future, right? But it'll also allow, if you do it in the beginning, then you do the same one, right? Because I'm going to ask the same questions in the post and the pre and the post survey. So therefore, you're able to see the change or the shift or the understanding or overstanding about now where you are, right? You're able to like measure if anything worked for you or if it didn't, or what was new for you, or however, that registers with you. So before we end this out, let's talk about who doesn't benefit from this. Small businesses, especially Black owned ones, right? We're talking about businesses, right? I know it's called Black Friday, but we're talking about us not being able to invest in ourselves. Like how the world convinced you to hate me and me to hate you and me to dislike. Like it's a whole thing. It's not just about the color of our skin, right? The word black isn't about the color. The word black was used intentionally because the world has been using it. So it only made sense to use what was already working, like it has already tricked you. So the idea is use the thing to allow you to see how you can intentionally disrupt and be more, right? So now you can use the thing so you can intentionally bloom. So who doesn't benefit? Small businesses, especially Black owned ones. Historically, Black owned businesses often struggle on Black Friday because they can't compete with corporate pricing. Supply costs are higher. Marketing budgets are limited. Systematic barriers restrict access to capital. Customers are down, right? And then individuals are drawing to doorbusters instead of community-based commerce, right? CBC, right? We're all about these big stores, but we're not about the CBC, the community-based commerce, right? The thing that allows our money to circulate longer inside our community. And I don't know the exact numbers, but we're not doing so good when it comes to my city as far as how long the money circulates within inside our city. So Black Friday pulls money out of Black communities into corporate pockets. And so thank you, right? So I appreciate you tuning in to this series with me, but just tuning in to Beyond the Story podcast. We are getting beyond the story, right? And so in every story, all those narratives that do not help us be the best versions of ourselves. I think I mentioned to your highest degree, right? And being superlative. So superlative means to your highest degree, to your highest form. It's also an expression of praise, right? That's the word superlative. And so we're disrupting the narrative, right? We're no longer just going to buy in. We're no longer going to put out. We are going to pull in to ourselves so that we can feel more grounded, feel more whole, and feel more powerful. And it is your prerogative. Like, it's up to you. You have to be the one to do it. We are. So I've been listening to this podcast. Karen Hunter is her name, right? And she's just super amazing. Like, I just love her content, right? Her space feels like home. She keeps it real. She has real people that she interviews, and she wants to help us help ourselves, right? But Karen Hunter said something that I realized a while ago, and it was really sad and heartbreaking, right? Because we point a lot of fingers. We say the white man this and we say that. But I don't know, maybe like 2 years ago, I realized that the issue is us. Yeah, the issue is us. And not that things are not intentionally put in the way that the Jim Crow is not real, that the pipeline to prison is not real, that the redlining, the marginalizing. I'm not saying that all of those things are not real, because all those things were real deal roadblock system that are still affecting and live in effect right now, right? But even with those things, we have still figured out how to be resilient, how to rebuild, how to reimagine, and do all of that. But we also have been the weapon formed against ourselves, if I can say that, in just a short way around the block. Instead of going all the way around the block, we have been the weapon formed against us. And so back to Karen Hunter. So Karen Hunter mentioned, as far as the algorithms, right? You are the algorithm. That's pretty much what she said. We are the algorithm. And the crap that is being dished to us, the crap that is being billed, we're putting the energy out there. So therefore, they're making it, right? They're making it. And so what you see is what you are projecting, right? We in love with crabs and crustaceans, and we just got to have crabs. And guess what? We got far more crab markets in town and less safe places for our young people to go. Make that make sense, parents, because who else eating the crabs? The parents, right? The adults. But we got more crab houses than we have safe places for our young people in my city. I'm speaking for my city. And so you are the algorithm. You are the energy. And so sometimes when I see stuff pop up, and it's just like, it breaks my heart, because I know the only reason why I'm seeing this is because a bunch of people thought that this was something funny and something cool. And so now it's a part of the algorithm, right? We put energy towards it, right? And I know the world is full of entertainment, and we're in this space where we need to be entertained. But we are being entertained in the entertainment, right? They're entertaining you to continue to do things that benefit corporate America and not benefit your household, not benefit your legacy, not ensure that we don't have to do this struggle thing anymore. And so that's what Karen Hunter was pointing out, that you are the algorithm. We are the algorithm. We are the frequency. If no one liked the post, then it wouldn't be high on the thing. These people wouldn't be top paid what they call them, content creators, right? They are literally just making up stuff so they can get a like. It is madness, because the most thing is madness is that you made it that way. And so we are absolutely being the weapon formed against us. They are using us against us, because now we want entertainment more than we want being intentional creators of our reality. That's it. And so thank you, right? This is the Black Friday investment, because I'm ready to invest, right? In myself. And I won't say I'm ready. I want to continue to invest in myself, to invest in my community, to invest in the world, right? That Martin Luther King talked about, that Harriet Tubman fought for, that our ancestors did a thing. Like, literally, freedom doesn't need any more fighters. We really just need to learn where to invest, right? Excuse me. Because if we invested in the right places, we would absolutely change the algorithm. If we just stopped and did a thing, it would hit them where it hurts the most, and that's in their pocket, right? They have already strategically planned on how much money you're going to spend in 2027 for the holidays, right? They are already planning on their projected numbers of how much you're going to spend. But one thing I know that they didn't plan on this Black Friday investment series. They didn't plan on that someone was going to create something that wasn't about taking money from you, but investing in you, investing in parts of you that money can't buy, investing in parts of you, investing in parts of us that they try to sell off, right? Like, they did not plan for us getting it together and deciding that we were going to invest back inside our communities, and deciding that we were going to be the change that we wanted to see, deciding that we were no longer going to be pointing the finger, that we were going to invest in us being grounded, invest in our wholeness, and invest into us intentionally booming. Thank you for tuning in to Beyond the Story Hearts Talk podcast, because this is where our hearts can talk, right? This is where we can apply the don't framework. The don't framework. Disrupt outdated narratives today. You don't have to wait for tomorrow. You don't have to wait for something fancy. You can choose this day, this moment, this second, to invest in things that are about your soul prospering, in addition to your lifestyle and business. Y'all keep smiling and keep shining, because a better you equals a better me. I'm going to continue to invest in myself. That will overflow in my community. That will overflow in my business. That will leave a legacy far after I have left this flesh. You have tuned into Beyond the Story Black Friday Investment Series. And I will see you on the next page. Thank you. And have a great night.